Hey there, lads and lasses. This here is Thunderhand64 coming at you live from the west coast of the United States here on a Sunday afternoon. It is a little bit past 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and usually we would stream a Kachi time stream now, but Kachi is still in Taiwan. He will be back next weekend, so I usually use this time slot while he's away to stream other things, and today I decided I'm going to stream some Buffooncraft SMP Season 6. All right, without further ado, Alonzi, let's switch the display scene over there. Okay, there we go. I believe Villager is still on the server right now. There he is. All right, let's make sure our status is set. There we go. So here we are with this thing again, but we've had a little bit of a breakthrough, or some inspiration, actually. Let's do this. So Friday we streamed Buffooncraft, and we discussed a lot of things, like blowing this all up with TNT. But one of the things we talked about was lighting effects, and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do for lighting effects, and Villager suggested, hey, you should try the glow lichen, and I was thinking, that might be a good idea. So while I was just cleaning things up and trying to get some ideas, I figured, well, one easy thing to do is slap down some glow lichen and just see what it looks like. That's easy to do. So let's just focus on that. So I think I did that earlier this morning, and this is the effect of that. This did exactly what I wanted it to do. It defined the edge of the pit like this. I should really do this on Gaston. Let's go get Gaston. That way I can slow down and we can have a decent look at it. Come here, buddy. Now always getting him to come over here is always... Come here. Come here. Good, we got him. Okay, good. Let's head on over to here, like this, and we'll do that like that. Okay, good. And it's, even though it's raining, it looks like it's going to be nighttime pretty soon, which is cool. I guess we get to look at this during the night too, and we get to see how it comes through. But this glow here, this glow lichen on the edge of the pit, it's cool because you don't actually through the water see the glow lichen itself. But it excellently defines the edge of the pit very, very well in a nice, subtle kind of way. And now all I did was put it right on the very blocks of the edge there. I'll randomize it a little bit better so it creeps out into patterns a little bit and looks a little more natural. I might also define the outer edge of it. We'll see how that works. But I am very, very, very pleased with the result. I really like how it makes the pit look. And I feel a lot less like blowing this all up with TNT and erasing it now. I feel like I should try to salvage it now. It's given me enough good results where I figure, it's cool to move on with this now. So let's try to save this thing if we can. I'm going to leave the glow lichen like that. I lichen like that. For now, that's going to be fine. We'll work more on that later. But now that I know that that's going to work and it's going to have that kind of cool effect on it, that's a little more inspiring. All right, let's get on over to here. So now we have the unenviable task of trying to fill this out somehow. And I'm not sure how I want to do this. Because I'm going to be placing a lot of blocks, and because I'm freestyling this now, I have to make sure that I can reverse it because I'm going to be placing blocks and then taking them out, placing them again and taking them out. and doing stuff like that. So one thing I don't want to do, though, is accidentally delete the blocks that I already have in place. But we can control that with the level. So if we go over here to F3 and we look at targeted block, where is targeted block here? I think nowadays it just says block. It used to say targeted block on it, but now it just says block. Oh, no, there it is on the, Bubba. Oh, okay, so the GUI is swapped around and it's different now. So targeted block is up there, sort of the mid to the bottom of the paragraph on the left there. So targeted block. So we can look at targeted block right now, and we're on level 46. So anything below level 46 is going to be new, right? And so we can think about that. So just everything from from 46 and up, we need to save. Everything from 45 down is what we can place and delete and mess around with. So let's go stock the inventory here. You know, I'm tempted to sketch this out with stone and then replace it with the cobble. That way I can see. But you know what? I feel like I want something that I can Instamine. How easy is that to break? That's super easy to break. So I think we're good. That's pretty good. I think that's good enough where maybe I can sketch it in with stone, and then when I get the shape that I like, I can then use the cobbled deep slate and just go in and replace it. I really need to be able to see the difference between what I have, the old stuff of what I have and I want to keep, and the new stuff that I'm messing around with, missing a boat with. Let's swap out some of the tools here too. I think this stuff should go in tools 2 maybe. Right? Yeah. Like that and that. This stuff is fine. That's fine over there. This is good here. And then we can stock up on some stone. Let's do that. And let's see. Okay, yeah, this is good. Let's see. So we have plenty of the black concrete powder. All right, so we should have a lot of the cobbled deep slate and some blackstone gradient stuff, some more cobbled deep slate. No, that's smooth basalt, some glass, some glow lichen. Okay, yeah, we should be good with this, right? And we should have plenty of stone in here with which we can do some sketching, and we'll leave a couple extra slots open there just for debris. The challenging part of this is, part of what we're doing is we're letting this kelp grow up at least to this level right here. And so we had let this fill in with water, but there are columns in here that are not source blocks. And so the kelp growing up through here will change all of this to source blocks. And I believe as it grows, now you can see that I haven't, if we go down here, I haven't placed kelp in every single location, right? I think this one source block will automatically fill the blocks around it. So I think we're good with that. I've done a similar kind of thing to this before with the drowned farm in Generations. And I think this pattern will yield the results and fill all of this in with source blocks. the important part of this is that we have water through which we can climb up and down, so we can use this as scaffolding. Never mind just the way it looks, but we can use this as scaffolding so we can place blocks. That's what we're trying to do here. So when it comes to sketching this out, this is the difficult part. You can see where the forearm is pretty good. The bicep is okay. But then we have this shoulder that is incomplete here. And we're going to have the lat and the pec down here. So it's not just going to be a straight tube down from there. Similarly here, we have the forearm, the bicep, and the shoulder pretty much in place. We have most of the pec in the lat here. So this part is going to taper down pretty much into a tube. And I might not even make the legs for this. I may make this like converge into a serpent body or something down. And if I can get just enough definition for about maybe 10 blocks, I'll probably just use the glass depth technique here and just call it a day then. And then I'll just apply a gradient on the sides of the walls here. So I might do something like that. So I think the first thing I'm going to try to tackle is this area right in here where the bicep comes down here and then merges into the bottom part of the shoulder. The man has been disarmed, thus disarming him. And so, working on the bottom side of this bicep, and the upper part of the shoulder is good, but where the lat comes down and then maybe into the chest area. So we'll try something like that. And again, we'll sketch it in with stone first. And then we're going to have to keep pulling back and having a look at it. Blocks have been placed, people. Blocks have been placed. And I don't care if I have, support stones on the inside, which I'm using to place these. That's going to be fine. Let's just see what this is going to look like here. One thing I'm going to just easily try to do is just go in a block or two all the way around like this and see what kind of shape that produces. Because you can see, like, the bicep is almost, it's really pretty much finished, right? Like, we may not even need this much in the front. We may be able to come back quite a bit more. Right, we'll fill in those gaps and stuff. We just need to, like I said, we're just shaping right now. We're going to have to keep pulling back and having a look. And I'm thinking this might continue here with not a lot of depth in this part. Maybe just move one block in almost all the way around. And there'll be some filling we'll have to do with water there and stuff, but so you got to remember his chest is actually at an angle to us, so it's not dead on. It's actually more like this. So you can see this is gradually coming in by about maybe one block, and then we go in a little bit more by about 2. So let's let's go in like about maybe that level next. So we'll fill in all of that stuff, but maybe we'll get a little bit. And we have to remember to look at this from all angles too. So we got to come in here and look at it from the side too. Yeah, like this, I think on this side we can go in a lot over here. Yeah, now we can start pulling back. But this is going to be very difficult. Because it's so big. You know, pulling back and looking and pulling back and looking, it's going to take a long time to do. Freestyling this kind of stuff is not simple at all. Because you have to keep looking back at the whole arm. Like, I think the bicep thickness-wise this way is good. I think from this side, the bicep's pretty much complete. I don't think we have to go any further than that. And we'll just kind of take it, you know, like body part by body part here. From this side, though, I think the bicep needs a little bit of work. I think it needs to come down here a little bit more. Like. Maybe down to here a little bit more. And we'll just have to see like what kind of results this yields. Yeah, see, I think it should go further back right here. Oh, we've got the Dolphin's Grace just hit us or something. Makes it very hard to build. Yeah, I think it should come further back here. Like that. And let's pull this away. Maybe to there, like that. Yeah, there's our dolphin-y friend right there. Yeah, so we get, the whole thing is to look at the transition here, all right? So maybe this, maybe this comes over here a little bit more, like this. And viewers, this is my worst nightmare, is doing this kind of work. Oh my God, do I not like doing this. Okay, this isn't bad. I think we're good here. I think we're good here. Let's try something like that. And we'll just, like, temporarily... My God, it's 21 Marloon. Mar, how you doing? Long time no see. Welcome on in. So how are you getting on? One of the OG viewers right up there. Here, let me turn off the debug screen. Okay, that's kind of giving us the shape there. All right, I feel like this should now start to taper down in this kind of a way, where we would maybe do, and let's just drop some vertical shapes here. Like this, and let's just see where that's going. That's probably too steep of an arc. So you got to kind of look at the profile here like this, where this comes down like this. Yeah, I think we need a little bit more graceful and arc here. So let's taper this down to here. Like maybe this, and maybe that. How about maybe something like that? And no, hands, please. This is really hard to do while I'm swimming, by the way. Hello, my friend. Okay, that's getting to be a little bit better of an arc. I think if I can just fill in something right here to taper that in, like that, and then like maybe like that. Let's take a look. This is so hard to do. All right, and so right now I'm just trying to get the profile. It's like, where do I want to taper in? Because I like the way that curve is. And then you can kind of think of the shoulder as like a ball here. So now we need this to taper out. It's so hard to get because there's no pattern here or anything to follow. That makes this part particularly difficult for me anyway. Some people are really good at this freestyling stuff. I am not one of those people. I am not one of those people at all. Okay, so we need this edge to taper in quite a bit more than it is. Maybe something like that. And then maybe we can just take this from this part here. By the way, when I lost the file for this, I was just thinking of just obliterating this whole thing and just calling it quits on this build, because this part is so hard for me to do. Plus, as I said in Friday's stream, having failed at Buffoon Skies 2 is also not very encouraging. So that kind of knocked the wind out of my sails there, as far as, feeling creative like I want to build. Okay, that's not too bad. That's making a pretty good shape. I think I need to come in right about maybe here. Maybe something like that. And again, later I'm going to, when I get the shape I want, I'll then go back and replace these outer stone blocks with the cobbled deep slate. That's not too bad. I kind of like the way that this is curving inward here. I do like that. All right, let's see here. I do feel now I should start coming in around here for the chest. right? So I'm thinking maybe, and let's just sketch an outline here. Let's just do something like, and we really don't have to go in too much further, I feel. In fact, one thing we might want to do too is actually pop out in a few places. Not a lot, but a little bit. Because it's not all going to taper in everywhere. Like here, it might just be able to, we might just be able to follow this. Kind of. But this part is definitely going to have to start tapering in. So let's also just come on over to here. And I'm thinking this will taper in. And I'm just grabbing some blocks in the middle here. And just pulling back and having a look at what that kind of shape is. Yeah, I think that's going to do it for that edge profile right there. Yeah, that looks good where that comes in. And remember, if we're kind of like looking at the front view of the way that the chest is twisted, it should be like that. So I think this part here has to come out, and this actually has to go something like this. So let's get that kind of shape going. Let's take this out. And we're going to have to constantly be doing this kind of a thing. Yeah, see how I can't grab any water here? That's because these aren't source blocks right here. But I can get some water right there. There. Okay, that's good. And you know, later we'll have to fill those in, right? But let's pull back now, and let's have a look. And so, see how I made like a profile edge right here? I need to do that like over here, but I feel like the front here is not the good place to the best place to place that. It's harder to say than you think. I think we should do it from here. All right, so let's take a look. I think we should do something like this and then something like that. So let's try to get a kind of a curve here. Oh, hey, we have company. Do not clog my inventory with your zombie flesh, sir. There we go. Okay, so you can see where this is starting to come down. And now I think like right here is where I can have my derivative go a little extreme. Okay, math teacher. Let's pull back and let's just see where that went. Not bad. I feel it cuts in a little too much there. So maybe So, the thing is to look at the edge lines, right? So this edge line comes around here and then comes down to there. That's not bad. Let's pull back a little further. Oh, dude, please. Please. All right. I feel it cuts in a little bit too much here because we still have a little bit of the roundness from the shoulder to do here. So let's do this kind of a thing. Right. I'm thinking maybe something like, and something I'm not doing enough of, you know, I'm tapering inward, but I'm not then in some places tapering back out. So let's just do something like this for the moment. Let's get some shaping in place there like that, and let's see what happens. Yeah, like right here, I think the taper needs to be a little bit more gradual. I think it's a little too severe. Yeah. I think it needs to be a little more gradual here. All right. And then see, once we have that established like so, we can now kind of see if we can round that out a little bit. So we'd have this doing this and then coming down here. So maybe this needs to be a little bit heftier right here. Down here, and then, so maybe that arc right there needs to be a little smoother. Let's pull on back. So we've got this edge here doing this kind of thing. That. I'm going to now pull this in a little bit. Maybe, I don't know, maybe something like this. You know what I haven't been doing either is getting around to the back of this, because this is a compound curve here. So we also have that kind of shape to look at, right? We have that from their torso. We have this from the torso too. So we do have to consider that. I tell you, these kind of organic shapes like this, especially on this scale, this is really hard to do. Let's just start pulling this in now. You can see I'm not too finicky about, you know, the occasional so-called misplaced block, because we're sketching, number one. Number two, we're doing something organic. So a little bit of noise like that is good. I still feel this needs to be a little more gradual here. So let's do something like, something like that. Yeah, that's not too bad. That's pretty good. Make that a little more gradual. And this is the killer of this kind of building. Like one block will make a huge difference. All right, that's not too bad there. Now here we kind of have a profile too. We got to so many different dimensions here to consider. Like here we have to think, am I going to go like this, or am I going to go a bulge like this and then down like where his pect is? I feel this needs to be a little more gradual right here. See, so you can see where his chest is bulging out here, and that'll come down and it'll taper in. So you know what? Let's see if we can make a spline like right where the cleft of his pecs would be. I feel it's like here's one pect, here's the other, but this one's kind of stretched out, and this here. So I think it would be like right down here, like that. So I'm thinking, let's just sketch it in and let's see what it looks like. Something like that. All right, because we have this tapering in like this. We have that doing that kind of a thing. I think this might be a little too far out, because we eventually want it to start tapering back inward. So, oh, go away. Solicitors. Solicitor of death. Yeah, that doesn't quite taper enough. I think it should be here and taper in like that. Excuse me. So let's do... All right. Oh, and here we go. We have some moderation we need to do. All right, so that would come in like this. This would come in like this. This in the front would come down like that. So I think we're gonna drop off like that. Then we can start pulling back maybe a little bit. And then let's... So I think you can start to see how the body shape is starting to come together like this, and then like this, right? And so I think if we keep working on like these vertical curves, and then we can fill them in with like horizontal rings. That's my plan. Oh, look at this guy. Yeah, that one there is completely stupid. Yeah, that's... Any of the curves I put in curved into and then offset each other, so it's basically a straight column down. That's kind of dumb. But, I mean, it's really hard to see because it's so big, right? So it's got to really come out this way. Please stop doing that, please. Right, I mean, is that better? I think so. So again, you know, I'm trying to get this kind of shape going right here. So I figure that needs to be smoothed out a little bit. Now the thing is, as I zoom in here, I've got to hold that in my mind. And that's hard. My mind doesn't hold on to things that well. Let's see if that kind of brings that shape in. So I had a whole schematic that just did this slice by slice, and all I had to do is put on the chunk borders, register it, and then just copy it in here, and that file was destroyed. And so now I have to try to freehand this in, which is my worst nightmare. I'm so bad at this kind of stuff. Let me take care of that moderation that needs to be done. Yeah, you know, that's not a bad transition right there. That one's pretty good. I like this. So I'm going to focus on this and bringing that down. And then I may try to make some transitions from here over to here. I don't like this, but that one's okay. But I think this should go down a little bit and then pull back in. So I am going to, for the moment, I know I said I was going to take care of that moderation, and I will, but this is, I gotta strike while the pickaxe is hot. Because my aged frontal cortex just can't hang on to stuff anymore. All right, this will give me enough where if I park now, I can have a good idea of what I was trying to do. Now see, I'm thinking this part should swing under like that. A little bit. So we should have like a profile like this and then coming around. This mostly is going to be a curved slice in the XZ plane, something like that. So let's do a bam, shall we? Bye-bye. Ark. All right, so I was thinking, let's bring this around at least to here. And we can maybe do something like this and pull this back a little bit more in this kind of direction. Oh, look at this guy. Ooh, with his fishing rod. Wow. We're making a lot of drowned heads here. There's Dora. Welcome on in, Dora. You all should be able to see the auto shout out there for fellow buffoon, Dora Explora. All right. Let's pull this in from here and we'll arc this one over. How are you doing this evening for you, Dora? How are you getting on there? Me, here I am, living out my worst nightmare on on stream. You know, I figured maybe this shouldn't flatten out quite so much here so quickly. Maybe this should be a little more gradual here, right? Give it some roundedness. All right, that's not too bad. Now I just got to think of like curving this around. So we've got to make like a cleft around here. And so from here has to be gradual, but from here has to be pretty deep. So I'm thinking here we go, this is where we go back a little bit further, like that. But then we come back out again. We could do something like that, and then maybe back out like this. carry this over for a spell. And then we can come back like this and this. Maybe like that and that. And then we'll see if we can shape that just right. I mean, it's Monday now, but all good. Yeah, I hear you. Princess Tiny One, welcome on in. How are you doing? How's Mama getting along? Okay, yeah, this is a little bit better here. All right, so let's keep this going here, like this. And let's extend this about one more down. I'm thinking, but let's pull it back here a little bit. We could stagger it this way and see what kind of effect that has. This is so hard for me to do this kind of stuff. Okay, not so bad. Let's level this out a little bit. Oh, hands, please. Please. Maybe not quite so deep here yet. And same with this. I think what I really want to have happen is to have this. Okay, yeah, that's not so bad. Wow. It's so hard to swim and place blocks like this. I mean, it's better than scaffolding with the gravity to deal with, but let's pull away here like this. This is so tedious. I so regret losing those files. I really do. Yeah, see, every time I try to place, it places one block higher than I want it to place. Like it just did with that water block right there. There we go. And Princess Tiny One doing the lurk. Thank you. Appreciate the lurk. You know what? I'm kind of wondering whether I should be doing this with like the vertical splines and then filling in with the horizontal or not. It's just kind of hard to get the basic shapes. The idea would be to make like a framework, like a grid, and then just fill it in. That's what I'm trying to do. With like some vertical components and then some horizontal rings, and then just fill it in. So this niggly transition stuff here, hard to do, really hard to do. Like I would think. I mean, that's kind of guiding me a little bit. I guess. Actually, I'm thinking this one should probably curve away like that here. Yeah, there we go. So maybe here, this one would do a little something like... I'm getting bad feelings about all of this. I think this should curve downward like that. This is so hard to do. Let's remove all of that. All right, I think I should do something like this and curve inward, right? So let's try this. Okay, and then one thing we haven't been doing really is paying attention to the curve in this kind of space. So I think we should carry this over down to here, because we need that kind of a transition too. It's weird because you have to work in 3 axes at the same time, and that's really hard to do. A little bulge out there, a little bulge out there. Yeah, you know, I don't know. Let's try something like this. Let's try to just keep it, like, how radical do I want this taper to be on this side? Not very. Okay, let's do this kind of a thing then. Something like that. And then same thing here, except here we can go back a little more. God, this is so hard to do. That. Yes, See, we could put in one ring and then we need to look at it. Put in another ring, we need to look at it. And then it's like we pull back here. It all looks like crap. Take it all out. All right, so next ring would be that ring right in here. I'm thinking, see, it keeps placing on the block because I bob upward. Yeah, see, it's hard to swim and place blocks. You know, let's do something like this too. I mean, I guess. So next is carrying what? This layer around? I hate feeling like I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I don't mind that a little bit. I mean, that's the story of my life, but I mean, I could deal with uncertainty, but I mean, there are levels, you know? All right, I guess we're at like that layer now. Right, so we can do this. Maybe we can do that. Something like that, maybe. I guess it's okay. The next ring would be like right here, maybe. I'm thinking maybe this is a little more gradual here, right? So maybe we get something like my God, it's number one son himself. Biggity cheese, biggity! How you doing up there, lad? So hard to do. let's see. I guess we should try this. Good, playing some Tomodachi Life. I still feel like this should curve here a little bit and shouldn't cleave in so much. Like I'm thinking something like not quite out that far, but because I'm trying to get that pect muscle in there. So this would have to come back a little bit, and then this would have to curve back around. So like I would keep that there, and then maybe do something like this here. I pull this one back maybe. Maybe I'd pull that one back. Because you have to look at this, like I said earlier, you have to look at this in different axes and different dimensions, right? So this would come around like that. Then this would come around something like and now they got to kind of meet up a little bit. How are we doing for time? Oh, we're past our ad break right now. We should be breaking for an ad. Something like that, but then I have to recess it inward a little bit more. So I'll tell you what, let's take our ad break. We will take a break for 3 minutes, after which we will be right back. Hey there, and we are back. Replenished ourselves with a drink. So right now we're having some Sully's. Sullivan's, this is the red ale. About 5% by volume. It's not bad. It's relatively new here to the US, right? Brewed, of course, over in Ireland. And Sláinte, everyone. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's not too shabby at all. It's got a little bit of an edge to it. And the hops in it kind of tastes like lager a little bit. Even though it's an ale, it kind of tastes like lager. So it's the like the best of both, I think. That kind of a deal. All right, let's log back onto the server here. Let's see if we can get anywhere at all with this. The important thing is we got started. That's... This is so hard to do. You know what? I'm wondering if I should just do slices tapering down into a tube and then just kind of try to... Because I'm really killing myself with this here. This just looks like a mess to me. This part looks good. That part looks acceptable. All of this stuff in between just looks like crap to me. It's just dynamite. Here we go. Where's the TNT? I don't know. It's so hard to do this kind of stuff. I suck so much at this kind of building. Yeah, I just don't know what to do here with this kind of stuff. I really don't. I just can't get like the shapes in the curves. It's like it's too big to see it. Even though I keep trying to pull back so I can have a look at it, but oh god, the dolphin's killing me here. It's just hard to get the graceful kinds of curves in it and get them to make the shapes, you know? It's just like I like that profile and I like this one, and so it's like, what do? Do I just follow those all the way around? Like maybe I get over here and then I look at this. And so do I make another one here now? Do I kind of go off of here and go down and taper like that and then join them? Like, should I do... see with the zombie flesh, this is what I'm talking about. Yeah, see, I didn't want to place this block here. It just went there because I'm swimming. So if we look at, you know, you got to look at these profile edges. So see how this comes out to here, and then I have it curving in like that. Maybe it's just not round enough, right? Maybe it has to just drop straight down and then come in for a ways. Uh-oh. Why did that not redeem? Oh, have I not? some of those I haven't reloaded yet. What? What is it? It's there. It just hasn't. A couple of those were wiped out by trigger fire, and I've been loading them all back up, and that's probably one I haven't gotten to yet. But thank you for reminding me, Cheska. I'll give you your points back, and then I guess after stream, I guess that's what I'm doing. Welcome on in, Cheska. The other thing is, since you changed your name oh so long ago, I haven't updated your auto shoutout, so that has to happen too. So I'm thinking maybe this comes out like this, and it's more of a gradual turn, and then it cuts in. Thank you, Shut. And of course, welcome on in, Shut. It's what I do. That's another one I have to redeem. Welcome in, fellow buffoons. So I'm thinking maybe this... Maybe this just has to like make a gradual turn like that. So maybe I'm approaching this all... Well, obviously approaching this all wrong. But like I often say, this is not my building style at all. And then I'm thinking maybe something like this. Why am I dying? Ah, dude, please. I'm working here. It's already hard enough to do. Yeah, I didn't want that there. Thank you very much. From that edge, it's going to kick in maybe like this. Really? And let's just go take out this guy because we know what's happening next, right? There, okay. Thunder, just remember, organic is hard to do for anyone, so don't put your... Okay, thank you, Chubb. Yeah, and you know the biggest problem I'm having with this shut is just that. It's so big, right? That you're trying to shape, but then you have to come all the way out here and look at it and then say, you know, not quite, and then go back and tweak it again. It's just... But I like that curve. I think that's pretty good right there. So I think what I'm going to do here is, and I like this curve. So I'm going to, I think, transition. I'm just going to put these horizontal splines in based on these curves right, those two verticals right there. And I still have enough stone left to do that. So I'm going to try to kind of follow the shape here. And I'm just going to keep looking at this on edge. Like now I'll get almost under his stinky armpit here. And maybe I'll come over to here. Well, I can't really see from that side. But I'm thinking this is where his shoulder is, right? And then this one should... But it kind of does already. It kind of tapers in like that. Here, right? Like this comes in over here. Right? And maybe I'll drop this one in. And then let's pull back over to here again and let's see how that like hopefully that kind of rounds out the shoulder here. All right, so that's what I just put in there. I think this one's a little too long. It can taper in even further right here. All right. So this is the edge I'm looking for, to have it come around here and then to come into there and there. So I think that's good. So now I think we can just wrap these like horizontal splines like in between here and here. Let's do that and let's see what that looks like. So let's just bring these in like this, and I'm just going to follow this one out for right now. I'm not going to have this one taper in too much. And let's follow this in by about maybe 2 downward. See what kind of shape that gives us. Okay, that's already looking a little bit better. But see, now I think I can come in a little bit by about maybe 1 block. Yeah, you just stay right there, dude. I just wish we had some underwater version of an iron golem I could plant here, just to keep those guys away from me so I can get some work done. And, you know, maybe a little later I can randomize this a little bit more. I just heard a zombie turn into a drown. Oh, there he is up there. Plus, I need some food, too. Now let's do the eating thing, shall we? Wow, they're just coming out of the woodwork right now, huh? I guess I should have my trident, right? Right now. But you know, the trident is really underpowered. Let's get rid of some of this. Oh, we'll stock up on some stone too while we're at it. Weapons. Go right into here. That's my riptide. That's for traveling. Where's my... I should have a mega trident somewhere. Where did that go? Okay. Sure. I forgot how lunge works underwater. Oh, yeah. I think I'll just stick with the sword. I really don't have time to mess with this. But I thought I had an OP trident. But that gives us a little something to do a little later on. Go replace that, I guess. Yeah, no kidding, right? And now to think, you know, now they can zip around on... now they can zip around on the Nautiluses, too. Oh, look at this. Look at this business. You're kidding me, right, dude? All right, let's take this guy out. Speaking of Nautilus, I wonder if working on the back of the Nautilus would be easier right now. Because the Nautilus is a little bit quicker, but it's also slow enough where I can build. Let's go try it out. Wow, look at all the drones. Really, you guys? Well, as far as making a build goes, I've made myself a pretty good drone farm here, I think. Look at this. Wow, they're just coming out of the woodwork right now. Should I make a drone farm out of this or what? Ooh, we got a trident chucker here. Okay. Look at this. Look how many there are. Holy smokes. No, I got work to do, you guys. I don't have time to play. All right, let's go get a Nautilus. Maybe while we're at it, we'll do the sleeping and reset. Let's do that. How much time do I have left of the stream here? I'm doing good. Done and done. I'm just wondering what it's going to be like building while I'm aback one of these Nautiluses. Like if we take one of the zombified ones here, right? Like Nemo, for example. Let's go, dude. Yeah, there you go. Okay, calm down, buddy. Calm down. I know you're thrilled to get out and do some swim in a boat. Come on. All right, these guys are take a little bit to control. So see, you can get you can do the space bar for the pulse, so you can get the burst of speed out of them. Oh, look, see, this is what I'm talking about, right there. But my guy's got mega armor. Look at this. Look at this guy. With a trident, no less. But it's cool. We got another zombified Nautilus here. And I don't have a lead. But you know what? I've already got plenty of them. So we're good. That would have been a little easier if I had the spear on me, so maybe I'll go get that a little later. Hey, dude. Hey, laddie. How are you down there, huh? Hmm? Yeah, I don't think this is going to be any easier, really, building with this. So, yeah, I'm thinking something like this, and then maybe we can continue that one over there. And well, yeah, see, because I'll do things like that. Like this. Yeah, this is not going to work. Let's get rid of this guy. Let's go pack him over here anyway. I thought it would be a little easier to build with him and stuff, but it's kind of like using the happy gas, but it's not. It's not easier at all. Let me see. Basic kit right there. We'll do this, and we'll get a lead. And you know what? Let's do 2 leads because maybe we can get that other zombified dude. If he's still down there. This might be easier if we had hitboxes on. But he's probably despawned by now. Hello, squiddies. Squiddy! Yeah, they're, I think he's despawned by now. Well, I was thinking on adding a glow squid farm level to this regular squid farm over across the way, but gee, I don't know. This is certainly producing a lot of them, so. Okay, well, I guess. I guess he must have despawned. That's fine. Oh, we've got plenty of them, by the way. Yeah, that's a regular squiddy. You're creeping up on half a century. That's so shut. I got there so fast, I like hardly had time to even notice it. But with me, that does. I don't know how you feel about that shot, but probably not too good by the sound of it. 48 tomorrow. Ooh, dude. Enjoy these last 2 years. You know, I have to admit, I feel like I peaked when I was in my 40s. I was at peak Thunderhand when I was in my 40s. I wasn't doing too shabby in my 50s either, but my 40s is where I was. Yeah, look, with the tridents. See what I mean? This is what I'm talking about right here. This is what I'm. But, you know, by the time I hit 50 shut, I pretty much decided I accomplished almost all I wanted to do, really. And then everything after this is just like frosting on the cake after this. Whatever I can get done in the time I have left, you know? Yeah. That's what people tell me when they say, "Oh, you look so much younger than your age, Thunder." And it's like, I don't feel like it. I wish I felt younger than my age. Though I have to say, now that I'm not driving the car as much as I used to, and I'm getting a break for that, like almost all the sciatica and stuff like that has gone away. So. These shapes are like really hard to nail here. I guess this isn't so bad here, right? I mean. See, I'm feeling maybe this side should come in a little bit more. I mean, I like it from that edge of things. But from this edge, I feel like it should come in a little bit deeper, like on this side here. And then we have to look at this now. Now it's kind of like I make like a vertical profile edge there and here, and then I try to fill it in across the way with the horizontal bits. So I feel like maybe here this should do that kind of a thing. And then maybe something like that. And this feels like it's a little too much here, so let's taper that in a little more. Yeah, not like that. How about more like this? And then maybe something like that. Villager. Sounds an awful like how I terraform Thunder. Be careful, you might learn to build mountains by accident. It is that very much, right? Like you make the vertical curves and then you kind of go around with the horizontal loops and then you fill in. I mean, that's what I'm trying to do. Thinking maybe this gets taken out here. It's just really hard to do, like, I mean, there's so many axes I have to work in at the same time here. Like similar to your mountain building style is what I did for the underwater terraforming in Generations when I was making the apiary isle. It was, yeah. So that actually, even though that took me a long time to do, that's easier than something like this. But it's that same kind of building style, right? All right, I'm thinking maybe this does this kind of a thing here. It's just like getting these curves and splines to all like flow together well enough. Like right now, I've got this curve, this edge curve here, and I've got, God, we've got company again. These two here, and then I'm trying to put the horizontal loops between them, right? So far, I'm just trying to carry the shape down and then see if I can alter it from there. Like... But it's like, place a few blocks, pull back, look, place a few more blocks, pull back and look. It's like, oh my God, it takes forever. Now, the good thing is once I get past a certain point, it's basically a tube all the way down. So it's not that bad. It's just transitioning from these shoulder and pectoral and lat muscle kind of groups down into the elliptical kind of tube, and then just carry that down far enough to do the glass effect, right? just work in one at a time, make 2D shapes in the front, and then do it from the side. And yeah, that's what I've been trying to do. I'm terrible at sculptures, so that probably doesn't work as well as I think. I think it's Villager. I think that's the only way to really do it, right? Is build kind of like a wireframe of like these horizontal curves, and then these vertical curves, and then the horizontal loops, and then fill in, right? Yeah, like, see, I can kind of feel this tapering in here a little bit more. All right. That kind of comes around there. That's not too bad. But then this one here is a little bit wonky. With the swimming and the block placement. That's not where I wanted that. All right, so that kind of does that spline there. And then this one kind of makes this contour here. Maybe we'll do that just to kind of break up some of these more rectangular looking shapes. Really? There. Okay. Shut's getting PSTD flashbacks to me teaching him how to make mountains. That was season 2, wasn't it? Villager? What you were saying is making sense. The only thing I'm thinking about is that he should really get all his wire. Yeah, that's the thing I'm trying to do here, Shut. It's like if I kind of skip these levels and like, yeah, it's just hard to imagine on something this big, like taking this too far down like that and taking that too far down and then kind of skipping some of the horizontal levels. I mean, I see what you mean, and that's actually in my head, that's what I would like to do. It's like I could skip this part here and get right down to here. And maybe while I'm looking up, I could try to do, I mean, I guess I could try to do something like this and get between here and here, right? Like that, right? And then, so I have that kind of edge detail and I have this one, right? And then if I come back here, like that's not too bad. And now I'll continue this one over to there and see what kind of shape I can make with that. I think that's a little too much though. I should pull this one back a little bit. Let's try this. But Shut, that's exactly what I'm trying to do. So we're both on the same page there. Like now, if I can bring this curve in and around here, but you can see if I look at this from this axis here, so this curve has to be like a super gradual one. So that means I have to go a lot in something like that. So Thunder, mind if I backseat? Yep. No, please. Backseating's allowed. Villager. Especially from those of you who are better at this than me. So, see, when we do this now, right, Shut, I can see that this coming around from here to here, I need a little bit more of a curve down here, right? And this is how this gets a little tricky, right? Like, I think I need a little bit sharper a curve wrapping around here to the end. Like, maybe this would go in 2 and then come back and then go 1, 2, 3 like this, and 1, 2, 3 like that. And maybe I can pull this out here so it's not quite so sharp, right? And then if I come back here, right, see, now that's a little bit better right there. But now that tells me I can pull this out and back it up a little bit, because now we have to go from here to here. Right, so I can carry this now. Right now I'm just going to carry it straight down like that. And maybe I'll pull this forward like this. Like that, and then maybe something like that. So that's not bad. So now I can see like this corner is a little too sharp here, right? So I can take this out and round that back a little bit. So it's right about to there now. I like the top part of it, but the bottom part's a little too much, right? So let's bust that out and this out. Villager, I'll read chat in just a sec. Let me dispose of some of that, because the brain doesn't hold on to much. So I gotta, there we go. I'm gonna strike while the neurons are firing. There we go. In fact, let's just let's do this here. Let's take these out because these are a little too much. So let me see. We need to connect this bit over to here. So that's kind of like this. And then maybe a little more drastic. So maybe something like that is not so bad. Let's get some building materials, even though I have stone for like the rest of the season. Okay, let's pull back, and then I'll catch up in chat here. Yeah, like, see, that's not too bad. And then now it's making the horizontal splines to fill in here, right? To transition between that horizontal and this one. It's just that the bump from the shoulder, the bump from the pec, right? And we really gotta, because actually his chest is twisted a little bit here, right? So the front of his chest is really more like this. But that's not bad. It's a little square, but it's not too bad. All right, let's see. This may or may not work in your mind, but my approach would be to start with the pecs first, so you're not working in such large segments. Yeah. More of a drawing approach, well, yes. Might also help to do the lines in deep slate so that your mind will more... Yeah and no. You know, one of the things I'm really scared of, I'm really concerned with Villager, is accidentally knocking out the stuff I have for sure, right? And so I don't mind sketching it in with stone and then going back and putting in the deep slate when I have the shape. I think I can separate that out or merge them enough in my head so I can sculpt the shape with the stone. So I think I'm good enough with that. I do get your point though. Oh, I'm thinking about a reverse mountain, not a body. Well, no, but shut. That's actually kind of like what it is, though, if you think about it, right? Right now, I can see this contour here now going down to about there, and then maybe this one pretty much staying where it's at, and then maybe rounding this out, pretty much carrying that just straight down. And you know, it may come back out a little bit where his hips would be a little, but not for a while. I think it would stay tapered in. And the thing we have to do is we have to, even though we're working in that plane, we do have to keep coming over and looking at it in this plane too. And I think this is what Villager means by working on the pecs first, right? Because you do have like this contour that you have to consider too, right? But I think this one's coming along pretty good. Right? So this would continue down at least for 5, maybe even 10 more blocks, pretty much straight. And so right now I'm thinking on taking this contour and just bringing it almost straight down. In fact, we do have this contour on his back lat too. We can close this up, I think. Oh God, here comes trouble. Not much trouble, mind you. So, just to kind of connect that up and get this kind of shape going, right? The back, I'm not even going to worry about right now because, good Lord, the fins jutting out of the back and so, oh my God, please. And also, remember, I don't have to go all the way down to there. I'm thinking about not much further down than this. I'm thinking about maybe 10 blocks lower than that. Well, it's twofold, especially since you have worked out before. You know how the musculature looks, or should look at least, right? When it stretches and flexes. So as you add muscle groups, for instance, his left pec will be a little broader. Yeah, it's just, like I said, just sculpting that in real time is really tough because it's so big. Yeah, it's like, it's like this pec is almost like an oval this way, but its eccentricity factor is pretty low, whereas, or higher, because no, lower, because it's closer to a circle, right? This pec is like really stretched out because he's pulling his whole shoulder and his arm back. So this is an ellipse too, but this one is, or an ellipsoid, but its eccentricity is like really high, right? Especially in what would be its A axis right there, right? So it's, in fact, it would be like almost there's no pec at all right there because it's so stretched out. So I think I'll just carry these at least about 5 more blocks down. So for right now, I'm thinking maybe like this. And then I'm probably going to go in and probably about 5 more blocks. And then I think pretty much after that, I should be good. You know, I might just like make a tube down there, or I might not make anything. And I might just have the lowest concrete level like right there. And then the glass, layers of glass on top of that. So let's just extend some of these vertical runners down, and let's just have a look and see where they go, right? Like, say that's already looking pretty good to me. So this one won't go quite so straight down. I'm thinking this one will come down 5 blocks and then come back out a little bit. I'm thinking maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. But then I'm thinking here, 5, right about there. Maybe this one, because, you know, the muscles are going to taper in here, but then they're going to bulge back out there because you kind of like have a crease going on there, right? So it would go here, then it would bulge out slightly here, and then double back down there, I'm thinking. Another fun fact I've learned about drawing recently is that the female form is much easier to make look right than the male form. They're overall much smaller. Yeah, kinda. I think the male form's a little boxier and straighter, a little more angular, right? For some people, that's easier, and the female form is more curvier, right? So some people think that's harder. You know what the hardest thing of all is? Is like the muscular female that looks like a superhero female. That's really hard to draw. That really is, because you've got to get that perfect blend between curvy and muscular. Yeah, that's really, like, you have to look at a lot of like female bodybuilders to get that right. And then, like, Villager, you know, like, when you copy something photographically into a 2D drawing and you draw it exactly like it is in the photograph, it never looks right in the drawing. So you have to kind of fudge things. So you have to like create illusions, right? Because things don't map from 3D onto 2D really well. And so you have to draw things not like they really are. So you get the impression of what they're like. If you have somebody's arm and the contour is like maybe almost a straight line, you just draw it as a straight line. It just looks better, right? Even though there might be a slight curve here and a slight curve there, you know, you just draw it straight. Because if you try to make it look too real, it just looks weird in 2D, right? Yeah, right? So you have to do that kind of stuff, those illusion kind of things. All right, we are past stream time. We need to end the stream. I need to put in a call to Biggity. But before I do, now we can't really see some of the stuff we sketched out in there, but I just want to take a last look at the glow lichen effect around the ring because it looks really cool. I just like how subtle it defines that, but it does such a good job at it. And then when we get closer to the surface of the water, we can start to see some... Where are we getting a light source here? Where is that coming from? Uh, that's weird. Okay, whatever. Might be something underneath that actually, but yeah. Let's maybe pose for a thumbnail here. Yeah, that's a good one. Let's get the F3B is off. Hey there. Ow, my helmet. There, something like this. All right, enough of this. All right, let's go park in a safe place here, and then we'll try to. This is my voice is cracking. This is actually pretty good here. There's some jankiness in between that needs to be smoothed out, but not too bad. The framework is starting to look a little better now. Here's my safe space. Right there. All right. I think lots of artists like the cheat of if she doesn't look right, make her boobs and butt bigger. No, yeah. I don't give myself that luxury, but you can imagine the amount of people who, yeah. Yeah, like there's that standard idealized like male and female form. But when you vary from that, like you need a really thin or a really thin male or thin female, or you need a chubbier male or a chubbier female. Yeah, that's hard to do. That really is. Very well, viewers. Let us wrap up the stream for today. Thank you, everybody, for dropping by the stream. I'm going to forego the raid today. I'd like to put in my call to Biggity. I'd like to get my dinner and do a couple other things. So just remember that that's why I want to get better at faces. I don't want to fall into the Dragon Ball face pit. I understand that reference. Just remember that this time slot, Sundays from 4 to 6, is usually Kachi time. Kachi is away in Taiwan. He won't be back until next weekend. Our next stream will be on Wednesday from noon to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That'll be a Generation stream. That should be a Baby Zombie Rush Creative World stream. The stream after that will be Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That'll be Buffooncraft SMP Season 6. The stream after that, that might be, and let me just make certain. Let me make certain here. You know, that might be a Kachi time stream, but I don't know. I think he's gonna. He comes back Saturday, next Saturday, but he might be way too jet lagged for a stream. We'll see what happens. If he's not feeling up to streaming, I'll do another stream on that that time slot. So, everybody enjoy the rest of your evening, your morning, your afternoon, wherever you happen to be. Join us again next time. Bye for now, everyone.